Good morning. This is April 19th, meeting of the Madera County Board of Supervisors is called to order. Council, are there any additions to the agenda?
There are no additions to the agenda.
Okay. Would you please read the rest of closed session into the recording, please?
Sure.
Record it.
Conference with labor negotiators pursuant to Government Code Section 54957.6. The county negotiators are Adrian Caleb, Ken Caves, and the employee organization are all units. There's 2 performance evaluations pursuant to Government Code Section 54957. The title of the positions are the County Administrative Officer and the Executive Director of Community Action Partnership of Madera County. Those are the only items.
Are there any questions from the public regarding closed session? Seeing none, let's go to closed session. back from closed session. Anything to report, Council?
There are no reportable actions from closed session.
Okay. May we have the invocation, please? Pastor John?
Thank you. Let's all pray together this morning. Heavenly Father, we come before you, thanking you for another beautiful day here in our valley and in our city, in our county. We ask you, Lord, to bless this day. Bless us with your presence. Bless us with your wisdom. Bless all who will participate here today as we come with one motive, and that is for the betterment of this community and for the blessing upon this community. We ask you to work through us. We ask you to work in us. And we ask you to direct and guide and lead everyone here, blessing not only their work and their labor here, Father, but also their families and all that's involved in their lives. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. Again, what happened to our, there we go, there it is. This is a remembrance from the last meeting that we had. And I'd like to mention Peggy Petrucci, good friend of the families, Eva Marie Pirro, which was my mother-in-law. So I had my mother die about a month and a half ago, and then my mother-in-law just this last week. And then Ola Toski, she was like kind of like a mother to me too. And they're all the same age, that World War II group. But they will be missed dearly. And then one other, he's not a Madera County resident, but he worked for Madera County for several years, Anthony Platt. So that just passed away. So remember, Dave?
There's one we missed. I should have called you, but her name is Zona Cahill, and she lived in Oakhurst, and she started about 6-7 years ago the Seniors Got Talent show, and she asked me to be the MC, and I've been MC of it each year. And last year, she was really sick. She had cancer, and she lost her eye, but she still put it on. And but she lost the battle a week and a half ago, and she helped so many seniors up there. I just can't even tell you, to get out and do something. So it was really neat. She was a great lady, and when I seen that she had passed, it just was heartbreaking. So thank you.
Anybody else? We lost a couple more of our vets again this time. This is really disturbing. These are all Madera County members of Madera County. Last time we actually had 50 up there on the wall, and but we're losing a lot of 50 county members, and losing a lot of good people. So anyway, pray for them, please. Joseph, would you like to say the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Ready, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Consent calendar. Are there any questions concerning consent calendar? Hearing none?
I got one.
You got one?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I put it up there, but let's see. Item J. We got 200 smoke detectors coming in. Who will get those? I don't know who's in charge. Oh, Matt is. And it said in the backup that they had to have professional installers on those. And I was wondering if you have any information on that, or 200 is not very many, but everyone helps. So.
Yeah, a couple months ago, CAL FIRE was giving away smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors up in the mountains.
Right.
And I don't remember who at on the diocese asked for smoke detectors for the valley.
Oh, okay.
So they actually ran out of the ones that they were granted for the state responsibility up in the mountains. So I applied for a grant, and part of that grant was we had to install. The professional installer would be the engine crews. If they go out on a medical call or another type of call, notice there's no detectors in the house, then they'll be installed, and we're going to spread those out countywide and hopefully focus on the valley, since the mountains were targeted through the CAL FIRE project.
Are those hardwired?
No, they're all battery operated.
Battery, yeah.
Are they interconnected though?
No, and it's basically set up for a gift of one per household. So I mean, we'd put it in the hallway or near the living part of the home. Yeah, on all new constructions, yeah, they're all tied individually. That way, if one goes off, they all activate. This is a typical one you would buy at Home Depot, Lowe's.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to thank you again for doing that, because I know when I went by the CAL FIRE office, they said, hey, they went out so fast it wasn't funny. So people were thinking about it. So, and I'm glad you got these extra 200. So
Yeah, so we just wanted to be able to
saves one
spread
house
that
and
around the
one
whole
life.
county this time.
yeah, one life saved is worth it. So thank you, Matt, very much.
All right.
Anything else from the board? Bring it to the public. Anybody from the public on the consent calendar? Bring it back to the board.
I move we approve the consent calendar as given to us.
Second. Okay, we have a first by Tom, second by Max.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes.
Okay, I'd like to again thank the board for really going over the consent calendars before we get to this meeting. It's I think we've really made a lot of progress on that, and I want to thank the staff for presenting it very good on the back information. So thank you. Okay, public comment. On it.
I'm sorry. The first 15 minutes of each regular session is set aside for members of the public to comment on any item within the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. Items presented under public comment may not be discussed or acted upon by the board at this time. For items appearing on the agenda, the public is invited to comment at the time the item is called for consideration by the board. Any person addressing the board under public comment will be limited to a 3-minute presentation to ensure that all interested parties have an opportunity to speak. Any handouts to the board must be submitted to the chief clerk of the board for distribution to the supervisors. Anyone addressing the board needs to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium. Also, all persons addressing the board must state their name and county of residence for the record.
Good morning. Dennis Cook, Director for the Department of Behavioral Health Services. I just want to speak for a moment. Today, this month May is Mental Health Month, and I had an item on consent to approve our proclamation, and I want to show our appreciation for that, and appreciation for the board support and administration support over the months and years for the services that are provided by Behavioral Health Department. May is Mental Health Month. It's a national event to raise awareness about mental health and the related issues, and this year the focus is on life with mental illness, and that is for clients to speak about, and people, not just clients, but people to speak about their mental illness. Most of us at one time in our life either have mental illness or we have family members that have mental illness, and oftentimes when we speak about it in clinical terms, diagnoses, prognosis, those kind of terms, and it doesn't really get to the heart of it, and that is what it's like to live with mental illness. And in fact, when we were driving here this morning, myself and Sabrina, we saw a young man that walks off and down D Street who has mental illness, and disheveled, dirty, and just our hearts go out to him, and I wonder what his thoughts are and how he lives with this. He really is a struggle. And on that note, I want to take a moment. And also, you have some bags. It's kind of the colorful bag. We have a pretty bright color. And in those bags, just a couple of items that we give out to people out in our community, our outreach specialists, and to help to remind that the impacts that mental illness has on our community and the good works that the staff at Behavioral Health. There's a list of activities that we're doing throughout the month. A lot of those activities we do month in and month out, but some special activities because May is Mental Health Month. And also I want to take a second just to really thank and show our appreciation. I hear all the time from either board members or community members of the good works that happen for the staff back at Behavioral Health. Most of them would never listen to this because they're busy. They're working. Today we have about 128 people that are working in our community with clients that have mental illness. Some of them are in one of our 4 clinics. Some of them are going out to the jails to work with staff. Some of them are going out to the streets to see people. Some are going to the rescue mission. Some are sitting back taking care of our claims. Some are at our reception desk welcoming people that come into the door. It takes a lot of people to help the community. We're successful because of their dedication, professionalism, passion, and persistence. So on behalf of the community members, the family members, and myself as the director of this wonderful department, I just want to say thank you to all of them. Thank you, Board.
Thanks, Dennis.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
I'm Tracy Kennedy, Madera County Treasurer Tax Collector, and I have here with me Cynthia Jones. She's going to man the thing. Anyway.
A thingy.
Computer. Two things that I wanted to bring up this morning in public comment was our collections. Our collections for the second installment are all in and posted. And we have a breakdown of how it came in, office, counter, e-cards, e-checks, bill, pay bank checks, and Quartac impound. So that breaks it down into the in-office is the first one. People that come in, they want a stamp or they want to make the trip. I don't know why. And they come in and they'll drop it or they stand in line. And then credit cards and e-checks, of course, that is a growing component of how our collections are coming in. And bill pay bank checks. Bill pay bank checks is something that I've brought up before. If you go to your own bank and you say that you want to pay your taxes, it's transparent to you, but we get an actual check from the bank. So that causes extra handling. So our association is going to we have to review that and do some analysis because 600 or 800 of them is what we're getting per time, and that's a lot to enter manually. And then, of course, Quartac impound. Quartac is our internal word for if you pay your taxes with your house payment. So if your house payment includes your portion of the property taxes, that's all paid electronically and uploaded. And the rest is mail. And that's how we get the bulk of our stuff, is envelope after envelope, thousands and thousands. In total, we collected about $172 million from when the tax bills went out and to now, $142 million, somewhere's in there. I wrote it down. $142 million between the first and the second collection. Now, what is a bigger number, or not a bigger number, but probably more important, is who has not paid. Okay, this is a show of who has not paid. So the illustration in the first installment that was due December 10th, 1,800 parcels did not pay, and of the second installment, 3,400 parcels did not pay. This is about typical, and maybe it's a little low, actually, so that's good. The delinquent minders will be mailed this month for all 3,400 accounts. If you don't pay your, you can pay your first and not pay your second, but you can't pay your first before you pay your second. So anyway, delinquent minders will all go out this month, 3,500 of them, and to hopefully remind people to get their taxes in and pay. If they don't, at June 30, then that starts a whole new process of defaulted taxes. And that's a segue to my next subject, which is online property tax sale. This next Friday, May 13th, it will be the last day to redeem any parcel on the property tax sale. Okay?
Great picture, Tracy.
Thank you. You can print it off and put it in your wallet.
That was 20 years ago, right?
I'll frame it. You'll see it in my office.
Okay. So anyway, we start that July 1 starts the defaulted tax time, and then you have the 5 years that click off. Now, these parcels that we were going to show you, we started with 100 and some parcels. We're already down to 66 parcels. So people wait till the last minute until they know that we're serious or whatever to redeem their property. In some cases, we start a payment plan, depending on how good faith effort they have. And occasionally, we have to pull off a parcel. The due diligence here is very detail-oriented. If the legal description is wrong, if there's a typo in the description that is wrong, if there's anything that's incorrect that could foul the sale, we have to pull it, because we don't want there to be any kind of challenge after it has sold. So anytime that we are made aware of any kind of problem within the legal description or the owner's name, or if there was a publication problem, or it wasn't published, or there wasn't a filing, then we have to pull it. Cindy is going to show you how our online tax sale is going to work. On our website, which is right here online, you can go to the online tax sale on the left side, just click on it. We're hoping to put a little blinking light or something. It starts next Saturday, May 14th. So then it takes you directly to this picture. This is our, what we call the storefront, okay? It tells you when it starts May 14th, it was just a Saturday, and it's Eastern time, so because the third-party providers is East Coast. So you go through there, and you can download information. You have to put in a deposit in order to bid. You'll get a bidder's number, and then you go forward. We have the list of parcels, and Cindy will show you one of the parcels. That's where they all are, below there. You go to a parcel that you might be interested in. You click on that parcel, and you'll even get a screen that you can look at a map. So if you go down and it will ask you for a parcel map, you click on parcel map, and it'll even show you where it is in the block and what its position is amongst the other parcels. Anyway, this is the second time that we've done it lately, and we did it last year also. I'm expecting probably another 30 parcels will be redeemed between now and next Saturday. So anyway, that's what we're working on. Any questions?
This is called a sheriff's sale when you go to tax sale, correct?
No, it's really called a tax defaulted land sale. Yeah, tax defaulted.
There's a difference between sheriff's sale and tax sale.
Right.
Because there's no redemption in a sheriff's sale in the state of California.
Mike Motz, I know he's handling some.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. And is there a redemption period on a tax sale?
Yes, they have until 5 o'clock on Friday the 13th to redeem their parcel. And it has to be good funds. It has to be a certified check or cash. That way they don't pay, and then it bounces, and then we're in the same boat again.
An IOU.
Yeah. So anyway, so we started out, like I said, I wanted to thank Cindy Jones has been helping with that. And also we have Dan Garcia in the audience. He's taken on that.
One other question. I've heard of owners allowing these to go to sale and then stepping in and trying to buy them in absentia on sale.
We've had that.
Okay.
We've had that.
Is that legal?
Yes.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So they can actually pick it up cheaper. But
Maybe. It's a bidding, it's auction.
yeah. Wow, that's crazy.
We'll see what happens is once we sell it.
That ought to be changed to exclude the owner, because I think there are people actually making money doing that. That's an idea. That's a thought.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we could look at that. The reason they want it to go through tax sale on our half is because if they have other liens out there that haven't been objected to, or they haven't foreclosed on their own, like a bank or mortgage company, then it's extinguished through my process. So that's kind of one of the reasons that they will let it go. But when it's an auction, you don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, you really don't. You're taking a chance.
You're taking a chance. And so also with him is Catherine Serrano, and she's also helping us with the tax sale. We took out a big bite this year, started with 100 and some parcels, and it might have been too big a bite. But, we got the old college try. So anyway, that's what we're working on. Any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank Tracy and her staff, because in the last couple of years I've had a few people come to me and ask me about this when they're losing their land, and I had one last week, and even being sick, she came to my house and gave me all the paperwork. So I called Tracy, set up a meeting with them, and I think they're going to try to work it out. So the staff really works with these people to try to get them over this hump, even though they are 5 years of not paying. So some of them, like a certain one I know, went like 7, 8 years. So, but they pay in between. So thank you, Tracy, for working with them and trying to help these people out so they don't lose their property. So
Well, we have a couple of things working. You know, a couple of my philosophies is I don't want to sell it. I'm not in the real estate business. That's
Right.
not what I'm here
None
for.
of
I'm
us
not-
do.
Yeah. And so we would rather people pay their taxes and be a good citizen, and we'll help them however. We don't want anybody to have to lose their house. That's not ever, you know, my position. That's not what I want. I want them just to pay, you know, and you can see 90% of people pay their taxes, and it's easy, and we just go on about their business. It's the 10% or less that don't, that give us, you know, that all the work. And the other thing that is coming back into play is the senior citizen and postponement program.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, it was halted through Schwarzenegger's administration because it wasn't being funded by the state of California. And so it's going to be refunded starting this next September, October. So it will give senior citizens or disabled people that qualify an opportunity to defer their property taxes. And how that happens is they fill out a form, their property is liened, the state of California pays their taxes, and upon their death or if they sell it, then the state gets their money back,
Okay.
theoretically. Anyway,
We need to get going.
thank you.
Okay, Dave.
Yeah, I paid my taxes this year through credit card.
Yeah.
Online, which I don't normally do. I usually come in and say hi to your gals and pay my bill. But I paid it the last minute. I waited to the last minute, not on purpose. It was something that happened to me. It was on a Saturday, so I went online and paid it, and it was very convenient. At first, it didn't. The system wasn't working right, and then I came back to it, and it worked fine. So I thought you would want to know that it worked well.
Yeah, the credit card, that is really we put in another feature last year. So if you pay by credit card, it creates its own register. So it not only posts the payment, but it creates its own register for our accounting purposes.
Right.
So it's
I think-
really a good feature.
That would have been embarrassing if Dave Rogers land up for auction next Saturday.
I'd have called him before that. Anyway, thank you.
I just want to remind the public that all public comments are to 3 minutes, and especially for the county staff, if you want to agendize something, and I think that should have been agendized. Thank you, Tracy. But please agendize the information. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matt Trieber with the Planning Division, and I will be very brief. Wanted to let the board know about a community outreach that we're doing through code enforcement next week. We'll be out in the community of Fairmead on Wednesday morning and Parkwood Thursday morning, and this will be a task force, Madera County Fire, Environmental Health, Code Enforcement, Environmental Health, Sheriff's Department, Animal Control will all be out there. We'll be walking the streets and talking to people and just trying to provide some education. And we'll have flyers, and it'll be published in the Madera Tribune as well. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt.
Morning, Chairman, Board of Supervisors. If I can get Vaughn, the Public Health Director, up real quick. A couple months ago, you guys approved transfer of grant funds from the Health Department to the Fire Department, which allowed us, we weren't sure it was an amount of $10,000. We worked with the manufacturer. We were able to purchase 10 brand-new automatic defibrillators and place them on our frontline equipment. So that really expanded the services for the citizens. So the Madera County Fire Department would like to extend its gratitude to you and your staff for the time and efforts on acquiring 10 new automatic external defibrillators for the fire department. With your help, we were able to add 10 new AEDs with life-saving capabilities to the fire department for the citizens of Madera County. Thank you. And I just wanted to bring that back before you just because the departments are working very well together, and you guys vote on stuff. I just wanted you to know what we did with the funds. So thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. That's
Thank you,
outstanding. And congratulations, Vaughn. Joseph?
The Crystal Towers in Madera County, we work together. It's good.
Good morning, Joseph Shadwan, Madera County. This morning, we lost a U.S. serviceman in northern Iraq. His identity has not been revealed, but he was a Navy SEAL. He was killed. He's the third U.S. military member killed in action against ISIS in Iraq. This morning, ISIS forces penetrated several miles across Kurdish lines north of the Peshmerga provinces near IRBIL.
Thank you, Joseph.
Thank you,
Thanks, Joseph, for letting us know.
As soon as I find out what this gentleman's name is, I will bring it back to this board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to pass on a reminder to the board and to the public that our Madera County Law Enforcement Memorial will be next Tuesday at noon in the Courthouse Park at the Law Enforcement Memorial. You have all of your Madera County law enforcement groups, both in-house and outside of the house, participating, and the Madera South Choir will be performing 2 songs there. So appreciate it if you could attend and understand if you can. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Jay.
Okay, we're going to go out of order a little bit. Let's go to 6B, please. I'm sorry, 6B. No, I want to go out. We're going to go to...
Okay. Board of Supervisors, Department District 1, presentation of proclamation proclaiming the Distinguished Award of Eagle Scout to Thomas Nishimoto, Eric Nino Jr., and Jared Thielander. Which one do you want me to read first?
Thank you. I wanted to bring this. A lot of times we'll go to these Eagle Scout presentations, Court of Honors, but this one was special. I knew the kids, and we always talk. A lot of times we get up here and we have to talk about serious, not fun things. So I think that it's important that we take the time to recognize, our youth and those of our community that are doing great things and will continue to do great things. And so I thought this was a perfect time to do that. And so I'll read part of the proclamation that's the same for everybody, and then I'll read once, and then I'll read the different part for everybody else. Whereas on January 3rd, 2016, Thomas, Jared, and Ricky were awarded the rank of Eagle Scout at an Eagle Scout Court of Honor. And on this day, the Boy Scouts of America honored their achievements. And whereas the Eagle Scout Award is the highest award attainable in scouting, and whereas they joined the Boy Scouts of America various different years ago and are currently members in good standing of Troop 116 in Madera County. And whereas, and then now I'll start reading the different projects. This one is for Thomas Nishimoto. His Eagle Scout Beautification Project constructed changeable, permanent reserved senior citizen parking signs at the United Japanese Christian Church of Clovis. And whereas in addition to attaining the high rank of Eagle Scout, Thomas has received over 28 merit badges and earned his Arrow of Light medal. And whereas he has participated in baseball throughout his high school career, and whereas Thomas is currently enrolled at California Polytechnic State University as a freshman in San Luis Obispo, which is why Thomas isn't here today with us. He's in San Luis Obispo, poor guy. And Jared actually is in Troop 118. Sorry about that. His Eagle Scout project, he built an outdoor patio benches for his church. And whereas in addition to attaining the high rank of Eagle Scout, Jared is an avid skateboarder, active in his church, and recognized as a leader by school principals, teachers, and peers. And whereas he has been accepted to California State University, Fresno in the fall of 2016, where he will pursue his career in business. You've already gotten a pretty good taste of business with your family and all their endeavors. And for Ricky, also in Troop 118 in the Madera Ranchos. Everybody is excited about that.
Where's that at?
The Madera Ranchos. We produce a lot of Eagle Scouts, Tom. You should come down and hang out with us.
Well, you haven't caught up with mine yet. I got about 14, so.
For his Eagle
Eagle Scout project, he rebuilt the bridge by the American League baseball field at the Town and Country Park in the city of Madera. And whereas in addition to attaining the high rank of Eagle Scout, Ricky has obtained his bronze, gold, and silver medals, as well as the Palms medal. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. And whereas with the love of sports, and more particularly water polo sports, his teammates have escalated him to be the captain of the water polo team. And whereas Ricky has accepted admittance to the United States Military Academy at West Point beginning the fall of 2016 to pursue his career. Wow. Ricky had come to me when I was the mayor of Madera. He was, I think, 14 years old. Is that correct? Ready to do his Eagle Scout project. And and kind of pointed him in the right direction. He was on top of it much more than I was. He kept calling me and reminding me what we needed to do. And so, he came at 14 years old. I thought that, he's going to have this done a long time ago. But then, fast forward to today, and when he went through it, I was like, it took you that long to get your project done? No, he finished it, and then he continued to get Palms, is that what it's called? On top of being the Eagle Scout. So it's even higher than the Eagle Scout rank. So I thought that was pretty impressive. And then to hear that he was selected to go to West Point is just proud for all of us here to send you on to there. So I'd be remiss if I didn't thank all of your parents too for pushing you to do these great things and work for our community. Eric and Kathy Nino, Galen Thielander and Ruth Nishimoto, and Wally and Kathy Nishimoto, and then also Grandma Dorothy Nishimoto. Thank you for what your families do for our community in raising young men like this that are going to continue to make Madera a better place. So I just want to thank all of you for coming here and congratulate you all once again for everything that you're doing for our community. So thank you. We have pictures. And if you want to come up and
We also have a presentation from John Anderson from Senator Canelo's office.
Yeah, I'm here on behalf of the senator, and I think Brett has said it all. Becoming an Eagle Scout is probably, I think, Mr. Loom told me, 4% of scouts ever attain that. I think we've had 2 or 3 presidents out of the 40-some that have attained it. And so congratulations from the senator, and we have certificates. I just want to salute you. I was a sergeant. You're going to be a commissioned officer.
Thank you, John.
Okay, let's go back to 6A.
6A, Board of Supervisors Department, presentation of plaque to Jim Talbert in recognition of his outstanding leadership and contributions to Madera's past, present, and future.
Well, yes, I really, admire Jim Talbert and everything that he's done for the county and the city of Madera. And I'd just like to read a few things off this. I guess he's a little bit embarrassed to not come. I hope he's feeling okay. But his wife will come down and accept the recognition. I'd appreciate it. But I'd just like to give a few examples. Madera District Chamber of Commerce, 1981 to 1985. League of Cities recognition for citywide crime prevention program, clear back in 1981 to 1985. Madera County Industrial Development Commission from 1985 to 1991. Brought in 21 manufacturing facilities and more than 1,200 jobs. Got enterprise zone designation. City building permits value from $4 million in 1986 to $52 million in 1990. In 1991, he worked for Berry Constructions to 1993. Madera Redevelopment Agency, 1993 to today. Jim is, through his agency and through his team, has basically restored 23 storefronts in downtown Madera and dozens of homes all the way on the east side of Madera. If you go A Street, B Street, C Street, a lot of them have been restored. They look very nice. Also, Downtown Assistance Program assisted 270 first-time home buyers. Agreement with manufacturers that led construction of over 600,000 square feet of industrial space and 500 new jobs. What I'm really impressed with, what Jim was able to do in town here, is take out over 40,000 tons of junk through code enforcement. John Wells Youth Center. Jim Talbert worked on that very hard to bring it. The new Superior Courthouse, he's the one that basically got the land for that project. Yosemite Tozier Shopping Center. Sidewalks in eastern city of Madera. If you remember, there was no sidewalks at all on the eastern side of Madera. Vernon McLaughlin, Fresno River Trail. The new redevelopment agency office. Georgia Pacific, dear to me, that he brought in Color Box. Georgia Pacific was going to go to Reno and ended up here because of Jim Talbert and all the good things that Madera had. What I'm very proud of is Jim Talbert negotiating with the city to move the VFW post because of the courthouse out to Granada. We had to fight planning and city for that. And of course, all the vets showed up, and we got that passed. But it was quite an interesting fight because it was in the airport zone. And I tell you, the thing that impresses me the most with Jim and his family, Jim has been fighting cancer for over a year, and he won. And that's the most impressive thing of this whole accomplishment. So I'd like to have Marty come up and take this presentation, please.
and I'd just like to say, when I came onto the city council and Jim took me out to lunch and to show me the ways of how Madera was going to be, and if you've never taken a tour with Jim Taubert, Jim,
Where are you going, man? We're talking about you.
Still talking about you. If you've if you've never taken, and Gary Savana and I were privy many times to taking Jim Taubert's tour of the east side of Madera. If you haven't taken Jim Taubert's east side tour, you've never seen Madera. He has so much knowledge of everything that's happened over there, but the most important thing is when Jim is driving around, you can see how much he cares about the city and the east side. I mean, it's the response, all of it is, you can feel he places it squarely on his shoulders. He has just been an incredible friend and mentor, and the city of Madera is better by a million because you decided to come here after you went to Turkey Tech.
So is the county.
So is the county.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
all this, the factories and stuff that this guy brought in is amazing. I mean, 600,000 square feet.
Remember, the city of Madera is in the county.
Max?
You know, everything that Brett mentioned about Jim is true. Jim took me for a ride around the east side, showed me what he had accomplished. But you know what? He didn't stop at a single stop sign. He just kind of cruises right through the stops, and I said, Jim, you're going to get a ticket. He said, nah, I won't. I know all the cops.
Well, like Gary's old-time friend, and I'm happy he's here today. And
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it was my pleasure to serve with Jim for 12 years. And looking at what he has accomplished, we should thank our lucky stars that he and Marty decided to make their family residence here, to raise 3 beautiful children, and to dedicate their working lives to Madera.
Absolutely.
He's absolutely a treasure for our city and county, and I stand in recognition of what Jim has done.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like to speak? Okay. Jim, again, thank you and congratulations, and man, keep it up. We need the business, that's for sure. We need that industry back too. And thank you for all of the help that you did with Madera Glass, keeping that going. Max and I worked on that project with you, and Eric. Thank you for keeping us in the and keeping half of that plant still going. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Jim. Okay, 6C, and then we'll go to we'll take a little break and then go to the hearing.
Social Services Department, presentation of proclamation naming May 2016 as Foster Parent Appreciation Month. Whereas foster families selflessly serve the children and families of Madera County by opening their homes to care for abused and neglected children, and whereas currently 310 children and youth are in out-of-home care in Madera County, and whereas foster parents are unsung heroes that serve as a primary source of love, protection, and support to these children who are in crisis, and whereas children in foster care need a meaningful connection to a caring adult who becomes a trustworthy and lasting presence in their lives, and whereas, especially during the month of May, we express our gratitude and respect to the many foster parents and family members throughout Madera County who make a meaningful difference in the lives of children and youth in foster care. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors of the County of Madera, State of California, does hereby proclaim May 2016 as Foster Parent Appreciation Month. Be it further proclaimed that the Board of Supervisors recognizes the foster parents of Madera County who devote their talents and energies on behalf of children and acknowledges all they do in helping children and families achieve positive outcomes.
Good morning, board members. Kelly Woodard, your Social Services Director, and with me is Justin and Jacqueline Gutierrez and Jennifer Rodriguez. You know, we talk about unsung heroes, and you talked about a lot of community members earlier that were unsung heroes. Well, here is examples of other community members that are unsung heroes. They take our community children who have experienced abuse and neglect, they take them into their home, they nurture them, they advocate for them, They see to it that these children thrive in our community. Sometimes the children go back to their families, and sometimes these folks adopt these children. We are so fortunate to have these folks as members of our partnership team. And I say that because social services, our staff have a very tough job, but these folks have a very tough job as well. They help us make sure that these children get the services that they need. They see to it that these children are in a position where they can do well in school. I could go on and on all day about the benefits that we have for having these folks, but I want to conclude with one thing. Your board allowed us to enter into relationships with a couple of our foster parents to be mentor foster parents. And here these two ladies stand. They are our mentor foster parents. You know, the best place for children, of course, is with their natural families, but if that doesn't work out, these two ladies are going to help the department, help our emerging foster parents enter into the business well prepared to see to it that these kids get the services that they need. So I want to thank them and thank them. So.
I just want to say a few words. I really appreciate what you folks do, and especially social services. We've been to, Max and I and David, and we've been to all the barbecues and all that stuff, and just it's so impressive. And I know you're having a dinner this Friday night, and I won't be able to make it, but I just know that my thoughts and prayers are with you guys. So, would you like to say anything?
Yeah, it's been an honor to be a foster parent with Madera County. My husband and I have 3 children in our home that have been foster children. We're adopting the third this coming 20th. That's in our home currently. And Madera County has been great. One of the children, we're keeping siblings together, so one of the children is from Merced County. And I have to say, by far, Madera County, the department, the workers, everything that Madera County does with their children is far beyond what some of the other counties do. And bringing, us as mentors and everything, I think is just going to enrich that much more.
We have another one.
I just want to say, again, thank you. Being a foster parent is my greatest blessing. I got a daughter that we adopted last month through foster care, and she's my greatest gift. So I get, in return for all the hard work that I do, I fostered 13 kids in 3 years, and the rest have returned home, which has also been one of my greatest gifts that I could give. And being able to be there for other foster parents is going to be a next journey that I'm excited to do, because you can't just call your mom or dad and say, hey, how do you parent these kids? These kids have a lot of needs that only other people that have been in the shoes could fill, because nobody knows how to parent unless you've been in this position. So I'm excited about the new journey that we get to do together, and I thank you guys for offering that and being a part of that for us.
Great. Thank you for what you do. Thank you so much for what you do.
I think I just wanted to say, when you talk about the word parent, the title, such an important connotation. There are not many roles in society that reach the level of importance that does. And you're talking about framing the life of another person, helping them to build their values, their hopes, their dreams, all that they are. And if children are going to be anything special in their life, it'll be because somebody stepped in and showed them the way. And that's such a powerful thing, such a powerful role. I know my own wife was adopted, and such an important thing to her as she looks at the world in a bigger view. And we could all learn from people like this who give of themselves so importantly to the most vulnerable members of our society and guide them on a path that's absolutely incredible. To give that kind of love is the best thing in the world that can be given. Thank you so much for what you do.
What guides a lot of us is our mother's love, our parents' love, and with a lot of these kids have deep abandonment issues. They've never had anybody, that person that's supposed to care for them wasn't there. But to have some people like you that not only love them, but choose to love them, it means so much to them, because for the first time in many of these kids' lives, they were chosen by somebody to be cared for and shown that love. And like you said, what a gift you can give to them. And even if they resisted at first, they'll know love on some level. And so thank you.
Well, they're coming back up. I forgot the public comment to mention Max Rodriguez made the front page of the Fresno Bee, and it's not very often Fresno Bee puts anything about the Madera County supervisors unless it's something that we've done bad, or they think anyway. And so thank you, Max, and Brett and Will and everybody that was there yesterday, and Rick. It's a big step for Madera County on that, getting that stop here in Madera County. It's just a big deal, and I want to thank you guys, and thank you for making the front page. Max is going to sign it for me so I can frame it at home.
Fresno Bee is going to learn that anytime Max Rodriguez gets on the front page of something, the sales go through the roof. So today will probably be their highest selling paper of all time.
Congratulations, Max. Okay, let's go to...
Just a few words. Good thing I'm so humble, But that project that we're working on is very important. It's very
That project that we're working with the team of people that we have, the task force, that's very important to Madera County. And hopefully we're successful. If we're successful, you won't recognize Madera in 10, 15 years.
Yeah. Thanks, Max. Okay, let's go to number 7, hearing.
Community and Economic Development Department, Planning Division. Hearing to consider the application of Dollar General for a letter of convenience and necessity to obtain a Type 21 off-premise license to allow the sale of beer, wine, and distilled spirits from an established store. The property is owned by Connor Trust and is located on the north side of Avenue 12, approximately 318 feet east of its intersection with Fernwood Drive, 37303 Avenue 12, Madera. The parcel is assessed via Avenue 12. Accessed via Avenue 12. The parcel, APN 049-216-020, is zoned commercial, rural, median. The general plan is community commercial.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Matt Trieber with the Planning Division. The item before you is on the Avenue 12 corridor in the Ranchos. This is for Dollar General. The store has an existing Type 20 license, which does allow the off-sales of beer and wine. They're asking for a Type 21 letter of convenience and necessity to allow the spirits included within that. There are 5 existing within the existing census tract and 5 permitted by ABC. That's why this item's before you. ABC requires a letter of public convenience and necessity to be issued by the board in order to exceed that allotment.
Talk into the microphone.
Yeah, I couldn't hear your...
I apologize. So the ABC forwarded this request to the board for consideration. There are 5 licenses permitted by the census tracking population, and there are 5 existing there, and this would be a 6th, and hence why this is before the board for a request from Dollar General for a letter of public convenience and necessity. Staff is in support of the application.
Tom?
Well, they must be working out pretty good. They came up with 3 Eagle Scouts today out from that area, so something must be working out there pretty good. So I don't think this is going to harm anything.
Yeah. Anybody else from the board? Anybody from the public? Bring it back to the board.
I move that we approve the letter.
Second.
Got a first from Brent, second from Tom.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Here.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes
you?
5-0.
You sure you're here? Okay.
Gets on the front page of the paper, it goes straight
Yeah,
to the
then
back.
it goes
Yeah.
down. Okay.
Can we take a minute break?
Let's get the sheriff all the way.
Oh, okay, yeah, good idea.
Okay, 6D.
6D, Sheriff Coroner's Department. Consideration of approval of resolution approving an application for the pre-disaster mitigation grant program funds and flood mitigation assistant grant funds from Cal OES for federal fiscal year 2015-2016, and authorize the sheriff to sign the application, sign award documents, and administer said grant. 4 votes required.
Morning again, Mr. Chairman. The item that's before you, the resolution is correct. The discussion as a backup is all correct. But what we're actually recommending for you as an action is consideration of approval of resolution approving an application for the 404 Hazardous Mitigation Grant Program funds from Cal OES for federal fiscal year 2015-2016, and authorize the sheriff to sign the application, sign award documents, and administer said grant. 4 votes required. That was a mistake that I did not catch in proofreading it, but if you have read the backup already, if you've read your resolution, you've noticed that everything here is about the Hazardous Mitigation Grant Program. This particular grant program is designed for fuels reduction. If you recall, we have discussed, and I believe your board has already approved an application for the CDAA, which is also a tree mortality-based grant, but it is only applied to trees that are within 200 feet of designated roadways. This grant, if approved and funded by FEMA, is for fuel reduction pretty much throughout the county. It's a 75-25% match, 75% from FEMA, 25% from the county. It does allow some hard and some soft match, but it does not allow us to match it with the CDAA dollars as our portion of our match. I think if you've been up in Oakhurst over the past couple of weeks, or in North Fork or anywhere around Bass Lake, it's beautiful up there right now. The lakes and the streams look wonderful, but if you look up in the hills, there's literally millions of trees that are fuel in our county. And we've already had a few, not fires that would be reported to the board, but we get a page every time there's a fire. So I've gotten like 3 in the past week.
2 last night.
Yeah. So prior to that, it was still wet. We're going to have a storm this week, and people think that, okay, that's going to put it down. But we really do need to do fuel mitigation in our county. One of our main production areas is tourism, and if everything's burned up, people aren't going to come here to look at it. I don't know how else to put that. We have 3 other folks here that can help you with any of the minutia or the details of this particular process. If you'd like to hear from them, Sergeant Joe Wilder, Brittany Dyer, and I think Len is still here too. Yeah. So if you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer those for you.
Any questions from the board? I just want to make sure that the public knows that this will be coming out of our general fund, the 25% match, which is $563,000 and $925. But to me, I consider this part of public safety, and it's needed. It's really a shame that the Congress has not given us that back, because we do have the Healthy program that was signed into effect, Healthy Forest program that was signed into effect in 2004, and by President Bush at that time, and there's still money sitting there. So I'd like to have some way, somehow, try to go after that refund, as I think it should be paid back to the county. So, and then the other thing that I really, it's kind of interesting that I went up to Miami Creek this last Saturday with the stewards of the forest that clean up the trails and stuff like that. And it seems like on that side, we're not as hard hit, I think, because we had fires before. But there is a lot of dead trees. How are we going to designate the sections to clean up first? I'm just curious.
This is mainly around communities. It won't be up in the forest land at all, and so that's the objective of this. Right. We got 17 communities identified, and this was something we've been working on. Jay, Lynn, and Wilder, and Brittany, and our Fire Safe Council, our plan that we've put together to identify all those. We've been updating it almost yearly, and one of the plans has got to be updated. We actually passed that in the consent calendar, and this is one of the probably most needed things we need to do for Madera County right now that I can see.
Well, I want to commend you and all your people up in your district, Tom, for working so hard, and Brittany working so hard, and the CDF and the sheriff. Just outstanding, and I hope we are successful on this. Brett?
Yeah. I'm glad that you brought up that it's coming out of the general fund and the nexus to public safety. And I had a couple of questions just to provide some by way of what happens if we don't do this. What is the dollar value of the property that these communities are going to be protected? Do we know, Brittany? I don't know.
It's millions. I mean, there's no number. I mean, it's absolutely millions.
In the hundreds of millions of dollars. If you don't take these trees down and we have a catastrophic fire, and it leads to a fire similar to the one, I think it was the Butte fire that hit between 600 and 900 homes. Just figure that out. The average home in the mountains is probably worth $200,000, so you're looking at what? $180 million worth of homes.
Right, so if this seems like a lot of money, but if we don't protect it, this is an investment to protect, a larger investment in ongoing.
It's like the Courtney fire 2 years ago, burnt 31 homes. That if we could have had some kind of a fuel, control the fuel below that property when it came through, we probably could have saved probably at least half of those homes. And I don't even know what the $1 million amount in those 31 things, but it cost like $9 million just to put the fire out.
Yeah. So I believe this needs to be done. But then the one other thing, if we don't get these grant funds with this match, I don't. The $560,000 won't. I don't think it will do enough on our own without these grant funds. And I don't want to just.
Right. If we could do everything we needed to with $563,000, we would be making a different request to you, and it would probably be funneled through your existing staff, or perhaps a ramp up in staff to do tree mortality mitigation, then a ramp down once it's cleaned out. But this will make a significant dent in the issue we have if we are funded. But keep in mind that this is a slow process also, so this money will not be available for this fire season.
Good.
So this is kind of like, this is almost your next year's money, because the trees
it's money in the bank that we can start doing projects.
Yeah, what we should do if we're not able to get that fund is start to set this aside so that we start saving if we can't get it from anywhere else. We have to figure out how do we do this for our for the residents up there, for the protection of that valuable property, and we need to start looking at budgeting this to set aside on a long-term basis. So those are my comments.
David?
Yes, this is a no-brainer for me. Public safety is our number one obligation. And the fact is that this probably would not have occurred had proper forest management taken place in the first place. We wouldn't have had the trees stressed as they are now. The number of trees dying wouldn't have been as prolific as it is. And really, the federal government should step up in this. This is really, we ought to go after them for not only our match, but more. And really, the federal government under the Clean Forest Act of 2003 and GTR 220, the Sierra Nevada Conservancy Plan for Healthy Forests, should be adhered to. And this is great nexus for that to take place. And so this is definitely an obligation for us public safety-wise. We cannot afford to have these residents jeopardized over excess fuel as well as trees that are liable and will eventually collide with residents and commercial buildings. So this is a no-brainer for me.
Max?
You know, I feel the same way. I don't want to blame anybody why we're in the situation that we're in. It is what it is, and we have to take the first step as far as providing the funding to take care of this problem that we have. It's a huge problem. All you have to do is take a ride up there and see what's happening. I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. But I believe Congress, in their way, will come around and support our efforts, and also the state. And so we'll take that first step. No problem here with me. Thank you.
You know, I find this whole thing interesting. In 2014, and everybody up here knows Steve Brink, and he did a presentation to the board in 2014. But we had a town hall meeting on guess what, watershed and forest cleanup. And his plan, he still has that plan, how to basically make these fire trails, and how, you know, since it's a forestry group, they know where to put the fire breaks and stuff like that. I still have that presentation if you'd like to see it, Brittany. But a very interesting presentation, how to stop it before, you know, a fire goes up a hill. And anyway, interesting presentation. Anything from the public?
Good morning, Bill.
Bill Purcell, Madera County. My question is here, this says, you guys are saying to protect these communities, these homes. Is that what this is about? Well, aren't these people, when they build up there, aren't they supposed to clean out around their own houses back so far so that they don't burn? Isn't that the law? I mean, I get notice every year to clean up my place.
Yeah, it is. It's got to be 100 feet minimum, Bill. I mean, that's the law. This is going outside of that realm. That 100 feet around the homes don't help the communities like Oakhurst, Bass Lake, North Fork, Teaford, Ponderosa Acres. All these places have all this stuff outside these people's property. And so that's what we got to protect, so that don't get to that point, because even with that clearance, like those houses that burnt last year, it didn't save them because the fires came from outside. So
they had the 100 feet and it still didn't stop them.
No, it went right over. Burned them up like they were going out of style.
To move it out farther, have the people clean up around their own places. I mean, to me, I know it's our money. I mean, it's tax money. That's right. It's going into it. And everybody's paying them.
Yeah, the sad thing about it, Bill, is when you get a fire that hot and you have so many trees, they absolutely explode. They're like a stick of dynamite. And what happens is the ashes get in the air, and it doesn't matter what you clean up. It's just it's going to happen. So
blowing on.
Whatever. So it's really sad. You take a right.
That, basically, I know the law says you have to clean up your own property.
Yeah, it is. They do.
Your own property.
And they go out and inspect them, Bill, like racehorses. So.
But maybe they're not making them clean it up far enough back to protect their own property. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
Okay. Thank you, Bill. Anybody else from public? Bring it back to the board.
I move we approve item 6D.
Second. Have a first from Tom, second from Brent.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you,
We'll take
gentlemen.
a 5-minute break and then go to 6E. Okay, 6E, please.
6E, County Administration Department, Human Resources, Operations Division, various units, furlough settlement. 1, discussion and consideration to adopt the side letters of agreement with the correctional officer, deputy probation officer, mid-management, probation administrators, and probation management bargaining units regarding monetary reimbursement to eligible and current employees who were impacted by or participated in the county's furlough program. 2, discussion and consideration to adopt the side letters of agreement with the peace officer and peace officer managing bargaining units regarding monetary reimbursements to eligible and current employees who were impacted by or participated in the county's furlough program. 3, discussion and consideration to extend the terms of the side letters of agreement in recommended action number 1 to eligible and current unrepresented employees, including department heads and elected officials, who were impacted by or participated in the county's furlough program.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Adrienne Caleb reporting this morning on behalf of County Administration. This item is an item that I'm grateful to say brings to closure any of the outstanding issues that we had regarding the furlough program. The items before you for the recommended actions, there's 3. The bargaining units are outlined there in the items for you as well as in the backup. And then those are for the first 2. And then the last one is to extend the terms of item number 1 to unrepresented employees, including department heads and elected officials who were impacted by the furlough program. The one thing that I wanted to just point out about this item is we did settle with SEIU as well as AFSCME, and that settlement included all employees who were impacted, both current and inactive. These recommended actions that are before you today are to effectuate payments for those employees who are just currently employed with the county. And I'm open for any questions that you may have, but I first wanted to just say thank you. I have to say thank you to my staff who made these payments possible, as well as the auditor's office. It took a village to effectuate all the payments for SEIU and AFSCME, as well as these payments that will be coming in mid-May. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who was involved. Questions?
Tom?
Yeah, I want to thank Adrienne and her staff also. They have worked their tails off for the last year on this, trying to get this all done. And I think we've come out with a great deal, and just you guys have done so good. So thank you so much, because it hasn't been easy. So, and Ken, thank you too, very much.
David?
Yeah, I just want to say that I think you're an outstanding person in your field, and you've demonstrated great prowess in the way you handle things. I also wanted to just say to the employees in general and Madera County in general, you know, we have been a watchdog over the budget for the number of years, and we continue to be smart in the way we're dealing with things, and I feel that everybody has benefited from that at this point. We've been able to effectuate a positive outcome in difficult times for everybody in the circumstances, and I think that I think it speaks well for our county in every way, and for everybody involved, and our employees, and as well as the board, and our administrative staff. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Brett?
Yeah, I want to echo a lot of what my colleagues have said. Your staff was amazing in working with this. Ken, thank you for working through a lot of this in terms of the actual negotiations. You know, us doing what's right for the rest of our employees, I think, is important to let them know that we do care about them. I know during the tough times, it looked like there was not a lot of caring, but that wasn't the case. It was just simply a financial matter that, you know, anytime that you start affecting people's pay, and you know, you're going to get that kind of pushback. But on the other side of that, I think this is going to be an expensive lesson, and if we don't learn it, if we don't sit here and understand what our responsibility, our culpability in it, and why we're having to pay it out now, it's a missed opportunity for us to learn on the board, you know, and in administration and in your office of how do we implement this in the future, because there's going to be another time, there's going to be another economic downturn. We can either budget for it now, knowing that it's going to be coming at some point, and keep tightening our belts so that we don't get into this situation where we need to furlough again, or if we do, we need to make sure that we cross all of our T's, dot all of our I's, so that at the end of it we're not having to do this. So I think it's important that we do take the time to recognize that we had some responsibility in it. That's why we're making this payment, and make sure that we don't do that in the future.
Okay. Anything from the public? Back to the board.
I move we approve item 6E, 1, 2, and 3, and with pleasure I do.
Tom first, Max second.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you, Adrian, and thank you so much for working, and Ken, thank you for working with us. And this is a 2007 wrong that this board corrected, and I just want to appreciate my board members and working hard on correcting this also. So thank you. 6F.
6F, County Administration Department, Human Resources Operations Division. Discussion and consideration to accept and acknowledge the Statement of Reconciliation by and between the Board of Supervisors and the participating bargaining units related to the furlough program.
This item actually is an item coming off of the heels of the previous item, and it's an item of great, has a great positive impact, and it is a statement of reconciliation between your board, the county, and all of the bargaining units. The words in this statement are very important and impactful to continue to have positive relationships with each of the bargaining units. And we move forward and forge ahead to see what the future brings. And I am glad to say that we do have contracts wrapped up through 2019, which is a very positive thing.
Very positive.
I invited our chief negotiator here so he can have a few words about the history and where we've come and all of the work that has gone into getting us to the point where we are with labor. I'll turn it over to Ken.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, it is rare that I have an opportunity to see you in the public place rather than in closed session. So, first of all, there are several people that need to be thanked. I've had an opportunity to represent the board, Madera County as chief negotiator for the past 21 years. And during that time, we have worked very hard to maintain positive relationships. It hasn't always been easy, but I want to commend and thank the Board of Supervisors for their continuing effort in terms of patience to listen and review every proposal that has been brought forth by the various bargaining units that we have. We have 13 bargaining units now in the County of Madera. I also want to thank the CAO, who has provided leadership over the course of the years and providing information. Also County Council, who has provided support. Adrian, Caleb, and the members of the Human Resources Department, members of the Auditor's Office and IT, who work as a team in terms of providing information that was able to bring forth the side letters of agreement that you just approved. And I need to mention one person in particular who sits with me at the bargaining table on an ongoing basis, and that's Susan Carter, a colleague who has been with me for a number of years and takes notes and keeps me on the straight and narrow so that I don't go off on a tangent. The Statement of Reconciliation is signed by 9 of our 13 bargaining units. SEIU, for whatever reason, elected not to sign. two bargaining units weren't impacted by the furlough program, and they were the communication dispatchers and the postgraduate licensed professionals. That's not to say that we have not maintained and want to work cooperatively with all bargaining units. And let me read the statement of reconciliation and thank members of the various bargaining units who signed that as a joint effort in working together for the future. The Madera County Board of Supervisors would like to recognize and thank the bargaining unit representatives whose members were impacted by the furlough program for their efforts and cooperation in bringing a satisfactory resolution to the outstanding issues. It is the desire of the board to have a renewed and positive relationship with all bargaining units to promote harmonious and open communications with labor and to work cooperatively to resolve issues and ultimately serve the constituents of Madera County. So I just want to thank the members of the bargaining teams and the Board of Supervisors in working together to resolve the various items in our work together.
Thank you, Kenny.
Thank you, employees, very much.
Anything from the public? Bring it back to the board.
I move we approve this letter of reconciliation.
Second.
We have a first from Brett, second from Tom.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
6G.
Agricultural Commissioner, sealer of weights and measures. Discussion and direction to staff to develop draft language to amend chapters 9.92 and 9.94 of Madera County Code pertaining to the discharge and carrying of firearms in certain areas of Madera County.
Chairman Farinelli, Supervisors, Stevie McNeil, Madera County Ag Commissioner, and I'm here today to get direction from you if you would like me to proceed with a possible amendment to the county code. And there are about 15 or 16 areas in Madera County that are specified in the code to where the discharge of firearms is prohibited. And that, of course, is for the safety of the residents. And there's been some situations, especially with feral swine, and these things carry some very nasty diseases and parasites and very vicious. But it could also apply to other predatory animals also. When you catch these critters, you can't release them. It's illegal to take them someplace else, and because you're just moving your, besides being illegal, you're moving your problem to someone else's area. There already exist a couple of exemptions to the code. In the Madera Lake area, they have one for a gun club, but in both the two sections of the code, there is an exemption for peace officers. I went through the whole California Penal Code, but it does not apply definition-wise to the county trapper that the county contracts with. So basically, there's not much sense in trapping these animals because you can't release them, and they need to be humanely dispatched. I would envision, if you direct me so, to work with county council on crafting some language for an exemption that, while still keeping the safety of the residents paramount, have some strict rules on there that another entity could be also used to discharge firearms, but under strict rules of federal and state laws and regulations. And so I'm here today to get direction from you if you would like me to proceed with this.
Yeah, thank you, Stevie. I can't even tell you how important it is. I've talked to the state trapper many times in our Fish and Game, or what they call it now, and they're frustrated because like just YOP alone, they have destroyed. It's probably $100,000 worth of lawns and stuff and gardens. These pigs, and they can't do nothing with them. I mean, they catch them. You can't. It's against the law now. About probably 15 years ago, they had a law that anything they caught, like a bear or anything else, or lion, they could transfer them and put them someplace else. But the only problem, that animal has still got those habits, and they just do it there. So they made a law that you cannot move them. You either destroy them or you leave them alone. And then with the other problem we've been having lately in the last 2 years, and probably a lot of us from the drought, is mountain lions and stuff killing billy goats, chicken, dogs, cats. They've done it all, and we can't do nothing about them. And Fish and Game is frustrated with these type laws, but if we could change these, they have that opportunity to go in there and do it, and they don't just go in there and just start shooting. They go in there and they trap them and they take care of them humanely, like Stevie says, and destroys and get rid of the carcasses. So it's just something that we really need to push as fast as we can to get it back on the agenda.
Excellent. David?
Yeah, I have no problem with dispatching these type of animals, the feral pigs and all that. And but my one concern would be that the county's indemnified on the discharge of a firearm. The person that's doing that needs to exercise extreme caution and safety in an event that they were negligent, that the county is not held liable concerning that. You know, a lot of rifles, if you discharge it, can go through an animal and through a wall and kill somebody else.
This is not people just good to go do that. This is
I know.
armed officers. It would be
Yeah,
people
I want to make
trained.
sure that we're indemnified
Right.
on that action, though.
Correct, yes, and I plan, I think I mentioned to work with county council on that to make sure that the county is protected also.
Right.
I would like to add that this does have the support of Fish and Wildlife, and one of the lieutenants is here today if you'd like to hear from him and voice his support.
Okay, we have Brett. Brett,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Now, if you trap the pig, you can't transport it, but can you, in its trap, bolt it or shoot it while it's in the trap? And then
Yes.
So,
That's what
so
they
it's
do.
not. So would that still be like the
Yes,
best way
in
to
fact-
do it is to trap it and then?
Right, because in these areas, the discharge of firearms is prohibited, so once you trap it, it's like, now what? You can't take it someplace else, and you can't shoot it because of the county code prohibition on the discharge of firearms.
So then it would allow. So it's not going to be like you're just tracking it down.
No, you're not out there hunting.
So
These
you
are
trap
trapped
it first,
animals.
and then you're able to discharge the firearm right then. Because you can, I just wanted to make sure that everybody
Correct.
knew
These are
that this
trapped
isn't,
animals.
Correct.
that we're not, ducking and rolling in a residential area and just taking them out whenever we can.
Absolutely.
It's not a video game. It's much more controlled when you're discharging. I just wanted to clarify that and make sure that everybody knew that.
Absolutely.
Would you like to talk? Did you say the fisherman won? Would you like to talk?
If you guys have some questions for me, I could answer some in-depth questions if you have any concerns over it.
This is Lieutenant Stevenson.
Oh, thank you for coming.
You have no problem with this, right?
No. In fact, what it does is it allows the federal trapper to help the residents of Madera County. Because
Exactly.
right now there's no mechanism for him to assist these folks. Because once the animal's in the trap, he can't remove it. The only way to get it out of the trap is to dispatch it, get the animal out, then move the trap, then move the animal. Right now, you can't move the trap because there's, essentially there's no wheels for, let's say a pig trap, where bear traps have wheels, but bears are way different than pigs, much different, where the pig trap has to sit on the ground and the pigs go into the trap, and then once it's into the trap, then you dispatch it and remove both. Where as a bear trap, since it's on wheels, bears are much more agile. They can climb and they can move. Where pigs are, they're not going to go up a ramp and go into a trap. Because if that were the case, then you could place a trap on wheels, like a culvert trap for a bear, and then you could remove that trap and you could go to a different area to dispatch the animal. And euthanasia is not, a practical way to dispatch it. It's expensive, and then it prevents the animal being placed back in the wild so the other critters can eat on the carcass and everything else. If you use euthanasia, you can't just go place an animal somewhere where the birds and the natural process can take place. You have to bury it. It's a much more involved process. Right. And so the dispatching would only occur while the animal is in the trap. It's not like a free-for-all hunt.
Right.
Okay.
So.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Anybody from the public?
bring it back to the board.
Oh, we got Bill coming up.
You have Bill coming?
Sorry.
Hey, Bill.
You got pigs at your place?
Not anymore.
What I was thinking about here, what you're talking about, I don't really see any danger. If you got a pig trapped in the traps like they are, and for somebody to take a gun and shoot that pig between the eyes, I don't see any danger for anybody.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Except for the
I
pig.
mean, wherever it's at.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're right, Bill.
As long as it doesn't ricochet off the
Huh?
stage.
Well, I mean, if you put that gun and shoot.
Anytime you discharge a firearm, there's a certain amount of danger for anybody standing by. So you just got to.
Well, I mean, you wouldn't want kids standing around watching or things like that. But I'm talking about to take, use a little common sense
Yeah,
whatever you're
just-
doing.
just
But
common
I'm just
sense.
saying, to me, to have to. Well, you say you've trapped a 250-pound hog in those traps they have,
Right.
and some of those things weigh up to maybe 300 or 400 pounds.
Exactly.
How are you going to move them unless they're dead?
Well, that's the problem. That's what our problem's been.
So.
I think the important thing is setting the traps in the right place where you have you don't have the you minimize the amount of danger that is just to shoot the firearm. It's going to be going in a different direction, and I think the placement of the trap is probably the most important part of that.
But here again, you're going to have to place the trap where the pigs are at.
Yeah.
Where they're using.
Exactly.
You can't just go somewhere else and
No.
where there are no pigs. But that's another problem. But anyway, well, I don't really see a problem with if you've got them already trapped, but
Right.
shooting them, right there wherever it's at. But you wouldn't want, like I said, people standing around or whatever. But using common sense, I mean, people know how to do that.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Bill.
Bill. Thanks, Bill.
I move we approve item 6G.
Second.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Steve, for looking into that.
Let's get it done as soon as we can.
6H.
County Administration Department County Firewise Projects. 1, discuss and consideration of approval of the initiation of proposed Title III county projects related to Firewise Communities Program for purposes of obtaining public comment. 2, discussion and direction to staff to publish the required 45-day notice for use of Title III funds as required by law.
Good morning. Darren McCandless with the County Administrative Office. This item seeks your board's authorization to initiate projects that will be funded using Title III dollars under the Secured Rural Schools Act. This is an act that was originally enacted back in 2000, the purpose of which was to offer assistance to rural counties affected by the decline in revenue from timber harvests. It's been reauthorized several times since then. Presently, there are only 3 authorized uses for these Title III dollars. The first is to reimburse counties for the cost of search and rescue on federal lands. The second is to develop or update a community wildfire protection plan. And the third is to carry out activities under the Firewise Communities Program. That's what this item is addressing. Firewise Communities USA is a program that provides assistance to homeowners in fire-sensitive areas with education and implementation of techniques in order to protect people and property from wildfires. In order for a community to earn this Firewise designation, they have to go through an application process. It includes developing a community plan, holding a Firewise event. The county has contracted with a Firewise coordinator for a number of years whose focus has been education and outreach in order to help these communities earn this Firewise designation. And he's been successful in doing so. There's now several communities that are either designated as Firewise communities or are close to it. And once these communities earn this designation, they're eligible to receive dollars to help fund actual mitigation projects. And that's kind of where we're at, and that's the purpose of this board item. As these communities, as I mentioned, as these communities come online with their designation, they're able to get funding for these projects. These projects are designed and I heard somebody discussing this earlier, they're designed primarily to address the home site, the home ignition site, with projects like getting chippers, removing vegetation, and so we're kind of shifting from a education and an outreach project to a more on-the-ground mitigation project. So this initiation is a requirement followed by an obligation of funds. So the recommended procedure for this is that the board initiate projects by recording, documenting their intent to spend these funds in the minutes of the board. So from this point, it's anticipated that the communities would work with the Firewise coordinator, develop these projects, submit them to the county for approval, and then we'd be going from there. So that concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anything from the board? Tom?
Yeah, I just want to thank Darren. He's worked his tail off on this since I've been on the board. These dollars are specified, like he said, for only certain things. We can't use it for anything else. So, and so this Roger Maybe's been our coordinator for about 5 years now, and he's been doing a great job, and he's got about 10 lined up, and we've got 2 or 3 that's been approved as Firewise communities, and now they can start doing some of these projects, like he said, and it'll help also. But the project we just approved a while ago for the $2 million, this is the same type deal, and these communities come together. They make their own group, make their own chairman, and then they come up with their projects, and then they'll be approved, and Darren will look at them and see if they're all meet all the requirements, and then they get paid that way. So it's just another one of the things that we need to do to help these communities be fire safe up there.
And to be fair, really, Brittany Dyer and Supervisor Wheeler probably deserve more credit than anybody else for.
Yeah, she's worked her tail off on this, trying to get it done. So she is really, and helped Roger and helped Darren and myself even, and these communities. So thank you, Brittany, wherever you are.
Wherever you are. Probably working on it still.
Yeah.
Anything from the public? I'll bring it back to the board, and I'd just like to say, I mean, what an effort by the team. I mean, yeah, Brittany and Tom, Tom doesn't do anything, just, whatever.
Yeah.
But, Brittany, I know, works her butt off on it. And Darren, I mean, the hours you must have spent on this, and take credit for it, working with Brittany, I can imagine. So thank you, and thank you, Tom, for looking out for all of the county. And bring it back to the board.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve it, and just saying that, like those dollars, that's the only thing they can be, and they all have to be related to the National Forest. Yep. They cannot be nothing down here. If they could, we would do it. Yep. But we can't, so.
That's good. Good comment. Second. Okay, Tom first, Brett second.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Dan. 6-9.
Fire Department, discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Madera County Fire Department to proceed with the hiring process for one fire captain position to be stationed at the temporary fire station serving the Riverstone development.
Chairman, Board of Supervisors. Basically, part of the development agreement through Riverstone. This is one of the positions they'll be funding in that development agreement. So I'm here to answer any questions, or Matt Treber or Norm Allender would be able to assist me with the development agreement specific questions.
I think it's just another one of those steps that in our development agreement that they have to fund, so we're moving forward with it.
Yeah, and it's important to note that they're moving forward with what was agreed upon they're doing. And that's,
right.
I think that's important to note, and it's exciting. I mean, this is going to help that area have better staffing than almost anywhere else in the county, because the developers are actually stepping up for the agreements that they made. So.
And the developer's actually, he's the temporary fire station, he's actually moved forward with that, so he's actually doing that in advance of his requirement, and just to assist us in the living conditions, because the current fire station, the kitchen, the day room, the living room, eating area, bedroom, it's all in the same 20 by 30 box.
And this was, I mean, just the ancillary things that come from that. Becky wasn't going to be able to have a polling place out in the Rolling Hills area. And then when she found out what was going on with the temporary station, that satisfied all of her requirements, so she doesn't have to go find a new one. So there's, it's helping all those things. Just little things that you don't see that are happening are really helping a much broader range of services out there.
Well, I tell you, the Riverstone Group and our team here, congratulations again in putting all this together, and that just shows that we basically picked the right developer to put all this together, and I'm happy that Riverstone Development is going on in 41, and like we keep on saying, that will be the third city probably of Madera County. So, thank you. And anything from the public? Bring it back to the board.
I move that we approve item 6I.
Second.
We have a first from Brett, second from Dave.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
6K.
6J, Auditor Controller Department, Property Tax Administration. 1, presentation regarding the property tax administration costs for 2015-2016. 2, discussion and direction to set the public hearing for May 17, 2016 for the 2015-2016 property tax administration fees as required by County Code Section 3.36.050 for adoption of a resolution as required by Section 3.36.060.
Not as interesting as talking about pigs, but Todd Miller, Auditor Controller. I'm here with Jim Boyajian to answer any questions you may have. Pork, yeah. Not the pork. Shoot the pork. This basically allows us to, this resolution allows us to collect from other entities tax administration costs as allowed by law. We're here to answer any questions you may have.
Sounds good. Questions for the board?
Move to approve.
Second. Any questions for the public? Bring it back to the board. We have a first from David, second from Brett.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
That was hard, wasn't it?
That was really hard. Okay, 6K.
6K, County Administration Department, Human Resources, Operations Division. Amendment to Public Health Department Classification Plan and Position Allocations. 1, discussion and direction to amend the classification plan by adding the classes of Community Health and Wellness Assistant, Public Health Case Management Assistant, and Public Health Clinical Services Assistant. 2, discussion and consideration of approval to set the salary at range 195, $3,291 to $4,000 per month, $39,492 to $48,003 annually, $18.99 to $23.08 per hour for Community Health and Wellness Assistant, Public Health Case Management Assistant, and Public Health Clinical Services Assistant. 3, discussion and direction to designate the classes as overtime eligible pursuant to the Fair Labor Standards Act. 4, discussion and direction to HR Operations Division to amend the position allocation and Public Health Org Key number 06810 as follows. A, eliminate 12 vacant positions allocated to the class of Public Health Education Assistant. Of those 12 vacant and allocation positions, 2 are unfunded and will remain unfunded. B, add 12 allocated positions that will be flexibly staffed with all 3 of the newly proposed classes and continue to unfund 2 of the positions.
Good morning again. Adrienne Caleb reporting. I do have the Public Health Director, Vonda Reynoso, who will be here to answer any of your questions or to make any statements as she chooses. But I want to say that this classification action is one that is a long time coming, and I'm very proud to be standing here this morning to have been a part of assisting Vaughn in forwarding the goals of her department. And these 3 classifications are classifications that are more detail-oriented than the current Public Health Education Assistant classification, and she will be able to disseminate staff out into the community to perform specific duties, and they will be able to conduct home visits and also conduct community presentations as needed. So I'm open for any questions, and Vaughn is here as well.
I have one question. I don't see anybody else. Oh, here's Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
No, I just, our department heads this last couple of years have stepped up the plate so well. I just can't thank you enough. Almost every one of our departments now is reorganized, and it's more leaner, meaner, efficient than we've ever had since I've been on the board, almost 11 years now or something. And I just can't thank you guys enough. And every time you come up with something like this, it just makes me proud that we got people that's running our county like this. For our citizens out there, do not realize what they get, the bargain they're getting from our people.
Well, thank you for those kind words, but I don't think any of us could do our jobs as well as we are doing without the support of your board, so thank you.
It works both ways, I'll tell you that.
I just wanted to echo Tom's comments, because it's amazing how you guys, figure out how to basically keep the cost down and get better people. And I actually read the whole thing, and that was amazing what both of you guys did on there, and how you came up with the figures and everything. And congratulations. And now they are currently unfunded, right? And then now
two of them are.
Yeah, two of them are. Yeah, good work. Thank you. Anything from the public? Back to the board.
I just want to say one other thing. We talk about almost every department also has come up with this. We've got unfunded positions, and that's been allocated for years. And they're still doing their jobs without these unfunded positions, which would probably make their jobs a little bit easier, but they're still working that way. We have approved a few of them since in the last year or two, but they're still doing that in our administration. I think we've got the best administration in the valley here, probably the state, running our county. So thank you.
Bring it back to the board.
I move we approve item K 1, 2, 3, 4, A and B.
Thank you. We have a first from Tom, second from Max.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Adrian.
6L.
County Administration Department, Human Resources Operations Division. Amendment to classification plan and position allocation within the Sheriff's Department. 1, discussion and consideration of approval to amend the classification plan by adding the class of Sheriff's Civil Specialist. 2, discussion and consideration of approval to set the salary at range 161, $2,777 to $3,376 per month, $33,332 to $40,515 annually, $1,603 to $19.48 per hour for Sheriff's Civil Specialist. 3, discussion and direction to designate the Sheriff's Civil Specialist class as overtime eligible pursuant to the Fair Labor Standards Act. 4, discussion and direction to allocate the Sheriff's Civil Specialist class to the Technical Bargaining Unit. 5, discussion and direction to reclassify the following employees from the position of Program Assistant 2 to Sheriff's Civil Specialist, Peggy Gunter and Sarah Hoskinson. 6, discussion and direction to Human Resources Operations Divisions of County Administration to amend the position allocation within the Sheriff's Civil Division, org key number 04064, as follows. A, flexibly staff the 2 currently allocated and funded Program Assistant 1-2 positions with the newly developed class of Sheriff's Civil Specialist.
Mr. Chairman, Jay Varney, Sheriff of Madera County. Again, thank you for considering this item. This item was brought up due to the fact that currently the young ladies that work in this division, they do a significant amount of legal reading and math, and that's not generally something that's included in a basic program assistant 1 or 2 position. We pulled some of the other sheriff's departments, found that the ones that were working the best had a position that was titled similarly. Chief Civil Deputy Motts, Lieutenant Majeski, and Adrian went through all of the existing job descriptions within the county and really did not find one that fit with these folks. The change in pay, I believe, is approximately 2.5%, and it just,
For us, what it allows us to do is select an employee in the future should either of these ladies promote or move somewhere else. Allows us to pick an employee that actually fits the specificity of what they have to do in the civil office.
Any from the board? Tom's out there chatting, so he doesn't get to vote. But anything from the public? Go back to the board. Again, another great job, Jay, on looking at everything that's gone on out there over the years and making adjustments. And thank you, Adrian, for helping and making things right.
Yeah,
Move to approve.
Okay, got approved by, wouldn't let you say anything, Jay.
I'm just going to say that this HR and staff did the lion's share of the work on this, so I appreciate the support.
First by David, second by Brett.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Yes. Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you, Jay.
6M.
Mike.
6M, County Council Department, second hearing to consider an ordinance amending Madera County Code by amending Chapter 2.22 to Title II pertaining to the Department of Community and Economic Development and the Divisions of Environmental Health, Planning, Building, and Fire Prevention.
Thank you, Rhonda. Chairman, members of the board, this is the second hearing on this ordinance amendment that would make cleanup amendments to the existing Community and Economic Development Ordinance to provide that it is organized, managed, directed, and overseen by the Office of Development Services.
Move. Any from the public? Back to the board.
Move to approve.
Second. Oh, Max got it.
Brett first, Max second.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
6M.
6M, County Council Department, second hearing to consider an ordinance amending the Madera County Code by adding Chapter 2.23 to Title II, establishing the Department of Water and Natural Resources and the position of the Department Director.
Chairman, members of the board, this is a second reading to consider the approval of an ordinance that would add the Department of Water and Natural Resources. It creates the position of the director of that department and also sets forth the duties of the director and the department. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Tom?
Yeah. Where's this person's office going to be at? Third floor?
On the third floor.
We got an empty office? Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
Got you covered.
Anything from the public? Back to the board.
Move to approve. Second.
Brett first, David second.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez?
Yes.
Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
That was a long time coming.
I should say we finally got it. That position. Woo! Finally.
We'll have introductions in a minute. 6-0.
County Council Department, second hearing to consider an ordinance amending the Madera County Code by adding Chapter 2.17 to Title II, establishing the Office of Development Services and the position of Chief of Development Services.
The clerk of the board said it all. This would be the second hearing to create this Office of Development Services, and I'm not sure if you see on your screen that org chart that we provided on the first hearing. And so it's the office at the top. It would create the Chief of Development Service and set forth the departments that would be under that office. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Tom Wheeler? Tom?
Yeah, I just want to thank them too, and we got all four of them right here, and I want to give them a big hand because that is one hell of a team. That's all I can say. Thank you, Regina.
6B.
Are we to pass that?
Oh, yeah, we want to pass that.
I move to approve.
Second.
Would help. David first, Brett second.
I second.
No, it was Tom. I was
He
laughing.
was stuttering. He was stuttering over
I was
there.
laughing.
Okay.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler? Supervisor
Yes.
Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez. Supervisor Farinelli.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Congratulations, you guys.
Yep.
It's a good team.
6B?
County Council Department, second hearing to
Oh.
consider an ordinance amending Madera County Code by amending Chapter 2.20 to Title II pertaining to the Department of Public Works and the Divisions of Maintenance and Operations, Capital Improvement Projects, and Municipal Services.
This is a second reading to make amendments to this existing ordinance to make the changes that would create this org chart that's in front of you. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Anything from the board? Back
Move
the
to
public.
approve 6P.
Okay, back to the public. Now back to the board.
Second.
Okay, Tom first, Brett second.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler.
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier.
I didn't hear Wheeler. Did you, she say
Yes.
Wheeler?
Yeah.
Did you?
Call for the vote. Supervisor Wheeler.
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier.
Yes.
Supervisor Rogers.
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez. Supervisor Farinelli.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
I can't hear out of this ear, and this one's deaf, so you got to talk a little louder.
Turn your head. Okay,
Tap him on the shoulder next time, Rhonda. You're close enough.
6Q, now we can congratulate. Okay, let's have 6Q.
County Administration Department, Human Resources Operations Division, Department Head Appointments to the Office of Development Services. 1, discussion and consideration of approval to adopt resolutions appointing department heads within the Office of Development Services as follows. A, resolution appointing Norman Allender as Madera County's Chief of Development Services effective May 2nd, 2016. B, resolution appointing Matthew Trevor as Madera County's Director of Community and Economic Development effective May 2nd, 2016. C, resolution appointing Julia Berry as Madera County's Director of Water and Natural Resources effective May 2nd, 2016. 2, discussion and consideration of approval to authorize the Human Resources Operations Division to amend the position allocation as follows. A, add 1 full-time employee to org number 05910 and designate the allocation to the newly established department head class of Chief of Development Services. B, add 1 full-time employee to org number 05910 and designate the allocation to the newly established department head class of Director of Water and Natural Resources.
What she said, right?
What she said, and this item is self-explanatory, and so I think it's appropriate for me to actually turn the floor over to the new Chief of Development Services.
Not yet. Not yet.
we gotta listen.
We got to vote. We vote, then do it.
Whoa.
Motion to approve.
Okay, motion to approve, back to the public, back to the board, motion to
Second.
approve by Dave.
Second.
We have a first and a second by Brett.
Call for the vote. Supervisor Rogers?
Yes.
Supervisor Frazier?
Yes.
Supervisor Wheeler?
Yes.
Supervisor Rodriguez? Supervisor Farinelli?
Yes, perfect, yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Norman
Right
Allender,
here, this is
Chief
your
of
new team, Chief.
Chief of Development Services. Just wanted to quickly thank the Board of Supervisors. You know, this has been a lot of work to get to this point, and your confidence in us means a lot, as Vaughn was saying earlier, right? That's a two-way street, and how we can work together. As we've always said, customer service is what it's about, getting better on a daily basis. I was at the front counter this morning talking to somebody. So being better, doing better, always believing in constant improvement is something we talk about. So I want to thank you for your confidence. And I can tell you, Ms. Berry, on her first day, will be leaving for Monterey for the Aqua Conference, which is a very important conference. She'll be leaving this afternoon
Well, it's tough.
to be working with our water districts.
Welcome to the county.
Welcome to the county.
Adios.
As you know, it's such an important one. I'm having, and in fact, we're already reaping the benefits. I was originally going to go, and I'm sitting here in my place, which means I can be here to do front counter duties. So,
Finally learning how to delegate, huh?
yeah, delegate. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Congratulations. Yes. I'd like to hear from,
I hear each one of you say something.
yeah.
Well, I think thank you is in order. I appreciate the opportunity, and I love this county, and I can't wait to serve the citizens and help all of you do your job better. So I appreciate it. Look forward to it.
Welcome aboard.
I just wanted to say thank you. I was raised in this county, and want to thank administration, Eric and Adrian, and it definitely helps to have a strong boss and leader behind us in Norm and this board as well. So look forward to the next 25 years serving the county.
Hey, that's what I like to hear, brother. Woo! And?
Good morning, members
members of the board. I'm at Public Works. I just want to, well, Director of Public Works, yes. Thank you as of last week or 2 weeks ago. Anyway, I'd just like to thank you for helping put this team together. I mean, it's been, early November since you guys asked me to step in, and I work with Norm. He's been nothing but solid, a good support for Public Works. So we have a good relationship going. I think this structure will work very well, and we have Matt Trieber, who needs no further introductions for his capabilities. And I work with Julia as well in the private sector. She was consulting with us for stormwater quality and other things. So I have good hopes, and I think this will work very well. Thank you very much.
Hey, can you guys come up? I want to get a picture of you up here.
Yeah.
All four of you. We're going to be on Facebook. What a team. Look at that. Hey, everybody, get that chicken shit smile off your face, Norm.
Yeah.
All right. Like this. That's good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Congratulations. I just think that this, again, is another improvement in our great management team in the county and adjusting everything that we listen to the public, hear their needs, water now, I mean, roads, I mean, planning, Public Works, Public Works. By the time, the road part, 25, I need that fixed. Okay. Someone else promised me that 3 years ago. But anyway, congratulations and welcome aboard. I mean, man, what a team. Thank you. Okay, any pending legislation?
Yes, I would like a thumbs up for a letter to write to Jeff Denham and La Mafia. I call him Mafia.
Yeah, Mafia.
They're trying to pass a bill afterwards, after everything's been done and everything, to stop our casino. And it's just so ridiculous to come back afterwards like this and try to change the whole federal law because they can't stand losing. It's Proposition H.R. 5079, I believe, and I would like to support from all of us. It's so important for Madera County that I can't believe it. So I'd like a board from us, a letter saying that we're for it. Thank you, guys, very much.
The only thing that I have is anybody else? I'm sorry. Anything else? The only thing I have is I just want this XBX one that's coming up, Beal, dangerous guy. Basically, almost a 40 cents a gallon raise on taxes if you read through the whole thing on gasoline tax.
Wow.
And what they're doing, of course, they're getting together and saying, hey, the price of gas is low. They'll never notice it. We noticed it. So I'd like to hand this out. And just FYI information for now. Okay. Robert is watching it. See where it goes. Thank you, sir. And that's all I have. Supervisor staff report? Any supervisor staff report? Seeing none?
I would like to thank Brittany for taking over my town hall meeting Thursday. I was homesick, and we had 60-plus people there and staff. I don't know who was there, but it came out very well, I think, from what everybody told me. I got a lot of emails thanking Brittany for doing such a good job. So thank you, Brittany, for handling this sick old man. So,
and I want to. I had a town hall same time that you did. I want to thank Ahmad and Phil Toller for staying on top of the water situation in Rolling Hills, as well as my chief of staff, Melissa De Silva, for organizing it so well and making sure that we had a meeting that could have turned ugly, ended up being a very good meeting for both the residents and the reason being that we had all the answers there for them. So, Ahmad, thank you for organizing all that, and like I said, pass on to Phil as well.
Yeah, I'd like to add one thing too. Is Saturday I went up to help the stewards of the U.S. Forest. They've been a group for I don't know how many years. I think 8 years. That's what they said. Yeah. But I want to give a compliment to Tom. Years back, I called Tom even before I was a supervisor. They were getting ready to close down Miami Creek trails and stuff like that. Tom jumped on it. But also the Stewart group jumped on it and actually go up every year and clean up the trails, clean up from debris, clean up from erosion. There was over 100 people up there this last Saturday. It was really interesting. A lot of guys I used to ride with, even from the coast, came over. And it's a lot of fun, but man, they did a great job up there. It really takes a lot of work, and I think they'll do the same thing with our new.
I was going to say, that just show you what they would do for our county with our OHB part.
Yep.
So,
thank you.
100%, Rick.
And meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
Rick, I just want to thank everybody for participating yesterday at our press conference. I think we had a good turnout, and it's for a good cause. I want to thank all of you guys for taking the time to be there. Thank you very much.